Hello everyone. In this video I want to explain some things about how everything works, what is God, what is good, what are angels, what are humans, what is Satan or the devil or evil or the demons, how they work in a day-by-day life around us, how we can protect ourselves, a couple of ways, simple ways for the beginners, and also for some Reiki masters that want to learn more and help their patients more. So I will start again with pointing out what is God. God is light, information, and spirit. Okay, that being said, it contains love, compassion. Also, a very good characteristic of God is that he contains righteousness. So he's correct. Being correct, you get closer to having more the presence of God with you. Okay, so everything that is on the opposite side, it becomes more devilish, satanic, evil, demons, and so on. I found this picture on Google which shows the entanglement, how photons are entangled. Okay, this is a picture took with the microscope under different conditions. It's an electronic one, so this is how it looks, a photon, and this is the image related, like with different tools, always using computer to show up a bit of color. As you can see, there's light, there's dark, and this is a photon that we are made of. Okay, we are all made of this kind of particles in a human level. Okay, and by being so, we produce energy that comes from God. Some of it comes from our consumption, daily consumption of energy, because we put in energy, we consume energy, we create energy. That's how they measure calories in energy consumption and production. But in the same time, we produce light as beings, as human beings. We produce light, or we produce darkness in some cases. When we are to bond with more than 50%, for example, this is just a short example. If you're disbalanced in this yin and yang connection, you tend to produce more negative, not light, but you feed more the negative side, okay, instead of feeding more the positive side, and that creates a disbalance. And starting from this point of the photon, I want to explain, and moving forward up to the big grade, not only human, but moving even forward more. Okay, so the idea is that everything contains a bit of everything. Like in the evil side, there's always a bit of light. It's from God, it's put there in the physical form to can help evil keep a certain balance. Okay, you can be all dark, you all in the physical form. So the thing was, when Lucifer fell down and was sent into matter so he can experience and grow and come back, towards God. When he fell down, he was basically sent into matter in different states, different forms. Not him, all of him, but parts of him, okay? Because he was like a third of the creation fell down with him. 1/3 of the creation came down with him. Like in a pyramid, he came in matter with all the others behind him. So everything that you see in the universe, like in the material form, contains evil and good as well. The human is the link in between, and it's a form of transforming the negative into positive. Okay? Not only, even you can even transform positive into negative. So the human is like a link in between, and it's not been explained and proper understood by human beings. And since we are born, lately we are sent to schools to learn different things, but it's not explained in this way, so that one understands what is he as a human form in this body, how he can move forward to go and grow towards God or not, what happens if he doesn't pursue certain rules and certain things. They are written, but they are written in different ways, in different books, and only if you get to a certain level of knowledge and understanding and you pursue those types of religions, you get to have this knowledge. So this is more like a simple way of understanding what is matter, what are we as human beings, how we can evolve if we want to evolve, and if we don't, what happens to us from this point of view. We put here positive and negative as well. Okay, I will give more examples now moving forward, and you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's move forward on this page. I said that the human being is made up of good and evil as well. It has a spirit that lives inside this body, that is like a car, a machine. Okay, I will put a car here for those of you that, I think everyone saw a car on this planet and they don't know about this car. They think they are the car, but they are the spirit inside the car. So your body is like a car. Okay, it comes in different forms, different types. They all have the same function. They take you from point A to point B. They help you live in the day, do your whatever you are doing in a normal day life. What you don't know about it is that you are the spirit inside the machine. You don't know how to drive your machine, what's going on with your machine, how it sends you signals. You've heard about when the car breaks down, you go to the mechanic, okay, and he fixes it. And nobody knows how to look at the car before it gets broken. Only a few know, okay, before it gets broken and sends it to the mechanic. Now, we have a soul connected with us that always tells us, you have a problem here, you have a problem there, you have a problem here, you have a problem there, and you can fix it by doing certain things. You cannot fix your soul or your car, because your car contains your soul as well, like your body contains your soul as well. You are a spirit inside, so you are the driver inside. This is your soul, and this is your body. Let's say body. Okay. So I said it earlier in an earlier video that 30% of your main soul is around your heart area. The other 70% it's around your field that it's created from your chakras and goes up to outside from your body, okay? It doesn't stay only when the skin ends, it goes outside from your body. Now what happens here is like having sensors on a car that understand more than the body, okay? Before sensors, people would only visualize. Now the cars have sensors so they can visualize as well, and they can perceive more of this field. Now what happens on a daily basis, every single person on this planet gets certain types of negative energies inside, even if it's from food or from excesses of anything. Whatever is too much creates or a negative reaction in your body, or it creates, if you create too much plus, like for example, if you start praying too much, if you pray too much, your body and your soul, praying correctly, like fasting, cleaning yourself properly, so adding pluses, too many pluses in your body and in your field, you will start attiring the interest of negativity, okay? And I was saying earlier here, so if you are in a human form, you start praying too much, you start cleaning yourself too much, you start building your field too much, and you expose yourself too much, on earth you will get the attention of evil. Why? Because you distract, you bother, you create like a spark in a place where everything sits more in balance than in one side of it. When everything is good, everything is in order, everything is perfect, you attract negative. Okay, this is what happens. This is, if you look around, you can see it, you can test it, and then you can understand what I'm talking about. But here I'm trying to explain for the ones that didn't understood these principles, and they want somebody to explain to them who they are, what they are doing in this body, why they are here, why when they try to do good, evil happens to them, or when they try to do bad, not good things happen to them, but they lose parts of their soul. I will explain how evil works to grab you and how God works, okay? Evil. So that you do the difference and you know how to move forward, how to protect yourself. So I was saying, and I was explaining this in relation to a car, so that one understands better when he looks at the car or at his body, who he is in relation to a car. So you are the driver inside the car. Okay, you are the driver inside the car. God gave you a car to drive. And this car has a lot of functions. You have inside an oil that it's called blood. You have inside water for the engine to cool down, that is called lympha, the lymphatic system. You have an engine that it's your heart that pumps, okay, engine, heart. Sorry, I was confusing it with the Reiki symbol. This is the heart from the Karuna Reiki symbol. Okay, I have a heart, and that's your engine. This is the engine that starts everything. Now you have your brain, that it's your computer for the car. The car has a computer as well. Okay, your brain is the computer of the car. This one keeps in mind errors as well, so storages errors, and those are bad programs or bad readings. And also it can be programmed with good programs. Okay, you can bring more power to the car just by transforming the programs or learning new programs in this computer, and you can add pluses. Those pluses keep away the negatives, okay, or at least they work better in relation with the negative programs. This is your brain, okay. It has good programs and negative programs. Now when you come into existence, your soul has already imprinted in it some of those programs. When you get a soul from God in your spirit, you come here with certain programs. Already your spirit has some bad programs, also good programs, okay? So not only bad, there's good programs and bad programs that you come in with. Why that happens is because in other lives you had wrong beliefs in regard to life, to other people, to other situations, whatever. So whatever you had negative in other lives, you get it in your soul code. Whatever your ancestors had wrong, you have a connection there, okay? You also have their pluses and your pluses, so it's a mixture. We put some pluses here so that you understand. It's a mixture of things, and it creates an yin and yang, okay, of you coming here now and living this life. Now what happens to a car if the computer keeps getting bad programming or bad informations or errors, coding errors? It breaks down, or it signals to the driver through a screen, you have bad programming, you have bad programming. If the driver doesn't start looking at this, at fixing these things, eventually the car will break down and you will get pain or physical pain, like you hit your car, or something breaks down but it's still working, the car is still functioning, and you keep moving forward until you get to the doctor, okay? Doctor. Now, the difference between a doctor and a soul doctor or a spirit doctor is that the spirit and the soul doctor fixes the big problem, okay? He doesn't only fix the computer by adding a good program. He doesn't only fixes the car or the body. He fixes the driver, okay? He's mostly in relation with the driver, and he helps the driver by cleaning his soul. Most of the times, or the patient heals from that problem, and he also adds good programs into his brain. So he doesn't only clean the spirit or the body. Also, in certain cases when it's too difficult, and this kind of spiritual healer doesn't know how to fix a body damage, he keeps sending the patient to the doctor so he can patch properly the body of the car. A normal doctor fixes the body problems, okay? He plugs into the oil and water and fuel and everything that it's inside. He gets readings, and then he decides what medicine to give. But once a person understands how his body works, how his soul works, like the machine that he has, he can start becoming a doctor for himself. He can start upgrading his machine, cleaning his machine properly, energetically, adding positive programs, learning, and then he becomes a beacon. Now what happens, like a candle, okay? He starts lighting up, adding pluses. Now, as I've told you, when you start doing that, and you add too many pluses, evil is attracted. Now, why evil starts being attracted? Let's say like this. This is a smaller representation, and this is like a person inside this representation. Okay, let's imagine you are inside from your human form and human field up to the bottom of the photon. Every cell, every field is made up like this. Now if you enhance the light inside and you add only pluses, it's like lighting up a candle. 1 second. Okay, so this candle, apart from light, produces heat. You cannot hold your hand here because you'll get burned. Okay, now what happens is this light creates energy. That energy in this field that we are living in, it's creating a disruption. Okay, now that disruption of energy has a reaction towards evil or darkness or minuses. Okay, it has a reaction. What it tends to do, like when you burn yourself, you tend to stop the flame and put water on it to cool down. Then if you really got in pain, you go and put a patch. Or if it keeps burning you, you start attacking that light. You start throwing it down, pushing it away from you, and you don't know any sort of reaction that you can have just to stop that light from burning you. This is the reaction that evil has. Why? Because evil doesn't know how to deal with light, and it will find any sort of system possible to stop the light. Now, what people don't know is that when the 1/3 fall down from the creation into matter, and they were doomed to live in the yin and yang form, they were also punished as evil to don't know anymore what light is, because God was light, okay? And every time they were close to light, they got burnt. This was punishment. Punishment. Okay. The human form has the possibility to learn how to use the flame, how to get into light in human form, how to evolve towards light. Evil doesn't know. Evil gets burned. You light up a candle, evil gets burned. Why? Because evil doesn't know how to deal. This was the punishment. They don't know how to deal with light. This is what happened. Now what you have and what you don't know you have the possibility to learn and to grow in a human form. It doesn't matter what you are. If you, on every human single cell form, there's this kind of energy. Now, if you learn how to move up, as you have seen, a lot of saints, after they die, they don't rotten. Their energy, their bodies don't rotten. They stay not alive body form, but they do not rotten. Why? Because they manage to add into their bodies during their lifespan a lot of light. And this one, it's like the frog in the water. If you put a frog in the water, and you start boiling the water, and you keep adding 1 degree at a time, plus 1 equals 2, plus 1 equals 3 degree, the frog ends up to 100 degrees without getting burnt. Okay? If you throw the frog inside the boiling water straight away, it gets burnt and jumps out. But if you keep letting her there and sitting with the boiling effect of the water, when it gets to 100, it doesn't get burnt. Now, why do you think that happens? It happens because the negativity gets used to step by step. So in a growth, in learning, you don't just wake up in the morning and you know how to drive your car, who are you inside the car, how your car works, how you should protect your car, how you should move around properly, how when it's time to go and do a general checkup on your car and so on. You don't know these things. You just buy a car and move with the car. Now in a human case, you just got a body. You don't even know who you are in your body. What is your body? How does it work? What else is in your body apart from the flesh that you can see, or bones you can feel, or heart, you hear the beat. And you just move around. Without start learning these things, you will not be able to move forward. Now, moving forward, I will explain to you what happens and how you should step into different steps of knowledge so that you can grow and you can start learning about yourself and who you are and why you are here and how to grow and how to protect yourself. Okay, level 0 here, I don't know. I think I know, but I don't know. Like how, like a quick question is how how did they know about the photo thousands of years ago? They didn't have microscopes. So how did they know to draw them down? Some will say they had some kind of knowledge. We couldn't find any kind of microscopes, electronics, so they could watch. So they had to move somehow in spirit. That's my opinion. Or they got this information by cleaning themselves and connecting themselves more to the light, information, and spirit. And they were always talking about the spiritual growth. So the ones that draw down this yin and yang, they were the spiritual masters. No normal person on this planet just woke up in one morning and start drawing an yin and yang. Okay, so they were somewhere up on this scale. I don't want to say level 100 because there's God, but they were in connection with God in human form, and they were somewhere on this spot, and they managed to get this information and they passed it down. I know this for a fact, but I'm just relating things, okay? So then when you start throwing yourself in the boiling water, and that's like the path to grow from 0 towards 100, let's put God on 100, and this is the path. Now, if you get in contact with someone that is already on level 50, and you start following the level 50 guy, and you start talking with him, and he talks back to you, you will not understand a level 50 guy. It's very difficult to understand level 50 guy, and that's from personal experience. So you need to start doing steps by steps, 1 degree, or maybe you can resist a 5-degree change. Okay, that means that your body, mind, your car in the upgrade understands a 5% upgrade, and it can upgrade in steps of 5%. 5%. Okay, and you do steps of 5%, and those are your way of stepping in, of upgrading yourself. Some people, they do the 1% steps because they don't want to miss the other 4%, that if you put it in one step by the time, you will not create ripples, and you will understand every single aspect of it, okay? But that depends on each one's experience of life. If someone is, let's say, not prepared enough, my advice is to take step by step, 1 degree at a time. Learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice. If someone had a long experience, he learned a lot about, then they can do the 5 degree, okay? The 5 degree steps. Very rarely one person can take a 10 degree, and I'm dividing it, okay? A 10 degree steps to growth, because their bodies, they need upgraded as well, okay? So like with the car, and I'm always going to the car, let me go quickly because I don't want to stay too much here for this video. I just want to give some explanations to the ones that start, or they are masters and they don't know these things, okay? Or they consider themselves to be masters, because lately I'm keep seeing it in a lot of forums that they cannot cure people for certain reasons, and I will come back to that in a moment. Now what happens here, if you want to upgrade your car and you want to put a better oil or water inside, that the one that you are normally using, and you heard about a good oil and a good water to add to your engine, you need to check first if your car allows that in the technical book of the car. If your car it's able to go with that type of oil, there's different type of oils, different type of water. Same with your body structure. If you are a small car, a very small car, for you to become a very expensive and luxurious car from that position, it's quite difficult. You can upgrade yourself in your form to the level that it's allowed to your body and engine. You can upgrade that one up to a certain point. After that, you cannot just swap your body and pick up the body of the best possible body in this world. You cannot, you just cannot. Yeah, for the car, in the car example, you can do that. But even certain cars in the world, they are built up in 5 number, only 5 of them, and only 5 people in this world get to have them. All the others can only look at them in pictures. Okay? So that's why in the pyramid system and in the growth path, you can get up to a certain level. You cannot go more. You can thrive, you can look at it, but you cannot go more. Maybe in another life you'll get a better body and you can start from a different point of view. Or in certain cases, you can get with your car upgraded properly up to the top of the mountain. Yes, it can be done. It can be done. I know cases, okay? I've studied a lot of cases. I know broken cars upgrade themselves and ending up at the top of the mountain where God is. Okay, God. I've seen that. So like with the car, you go up. I've seen that. But that includes learning the steps properly, applying whatever you've learned, and stop burning evil. Okay, evil, what is not understood, and I want to make clear this. Evil doesn't know what good is. Evil doesn't know. And whatever he does in his reactions, it doesn't matter if you burn yourself or not, is because he doesn't know. And when you light up and you start burning him, he reacts. That's a reaction. It's not always created diabolical mind behind. Okay, most of the times when you go up, most of the times it's just a reaction of not knowing. And this is the same with us as humans. We don't know. When you don't know, you react, and most of the times we react wrong. Why? Because we have good and bad inside. And when we get burned the first time, we tend to react. We tend to push that away from us because we don't understand it. Once you get to know it, how it works, you upgrade yourselves to certain levels. You can also keep your hand here for minutes. You can hold your hand on top of heat because your body is used to, and that comes through practice and knowledge. Okay, like with a cold shower, in the beginning, when you start doing a cold shower, you burn yourself. You feel like you are burning, even if it's cold. It's the reaction. It's the body reacts in a way that produces certain, like a burst of energy to cool you down. Okay, this is the energy that your body creates I'll do it like this. Sorry for the drawing. So your body first feels the cold, okay, and starts here on your skin. Now, reaction from your body, it's your heart gets the signals, your brain gets the signals and starts pumping like crazy. Okay, first starts pumping blood up and down like crazy to create a reaction to cold, and by doing so it burns energy from your body and creates energy to cool down, so it sends it outside towards your skin. It's a vasodilation, it's called, if I remember properly. And what it does, it reacts. Okay, this is like from comfort, from normality, you get a reaction of your body together with the brain. It's like the car computer starts accelerating, tells the engine to accelerate, so it creates a barrier. Okay, now what happens here, it's you are producing heat. When the water stops, you don't see it, but if you pick up a thermal camera and you start watching, your body creates a huge field of heat. Now in that body, it's included your soul as well, as I've explained, and all your chakras start opening up and creating a protection just by doing that kind of a cold water shower. You will get that after. Now what happens, you get dopamine. Try to take a cold shower and see after if you can get pissed, because you are in a state, your body creates a state of heat, which is light. Okay, let's transmute a bit with light. Heat, it's consuming energy and sends out dopamine into your body that gives you a state of calmness, and it lasts for, I've tried it. I used to take a lot of not cold baths in rivers when I was young, and it creates a state of calmness. And also you feel always, like for a couple of hours I used to feel hot. After a cold shower I used to feel hot, and at that time everyone was crying, you know, how can you get in that cold water? I was like, I don't know, I got used to. It's a bit bad in the beginning, but then after I start creating energies, like my body is hot, look. And they used to touch my hand and I was always warm or hot, and that was a body reaction. Now what happens is that by doing that you add pluses to your energy field, and what do you become? You become a light. And what that happens when you do that, it happens that you become a light, and evil doesn't know how to react to you and jumps on you, pushes you, does everything possible to stop you by burning this light. I used to also pray, I used to also do sports, so that was even worse for me as an energetic being in the field of where I used to live. Any single energy around me was against me, and I couldn't understand why. If I was doing sport, cold showers, prayer, so I was behaving normal, why did I got so much negative towards me? I didn't know how to deal with it, and it went up to the worst levels possible. So when you start your climbing, you need to start learning, reading, practicing. Not every car can be upgraded to become a Ferrari or a Bugatti. I don't want to make names to make examples, because any car is good enough to get in at the top of the mountain for me. If they choose to, there's ways and ways to get there. So there's not only one way, there's more ways. The idea is that you need to take steps properly. That's level I don't know. Even if I think I know, that's the worst mistake. So I don't know, then I know something more and practice something more and I know more. It's like any kind of work that you do in life. Assuming that you know, that's the worst part. And living day by day by believing that you know. We don't know. There's a lot of things that we don't know, and we have the possibility to know them, to start teaching the evil that's inside us on a certain level and around us on a certain level, and transmute that and learn how to grow in every aspect. It's not only in the spiritual aspect. You start growing in every single aspect of your life. Once you know these things and these principles, you can start applying them and you can start learning, practicing, reading the proper books, not the wrong books. Okay, everyone wants to achieve success with the magic wand. It doesn't happen like that. You cannot use a magic wand to become a billionaire. And everyone sends messages on internet. Use this for 3 days, use that for 5 days, use that for 20 days. No. Use that all your life. Keep adding. And by adding pluses, at one point, you will attract properly what you wished for. Because there's the other way, when you can attract something, and we do that all day, we usually attract things that we don't even know we are attracting, and we don't know how to deal with them, and they stop us. Why? Because we tend to want something, we start moving towards that thing. By doing so, we are bothering those energies, and what they do, they tend to stop us. Why? Because they don't know that we are trying to become better. They don't know what better means. They only know how to feed themselves in this state of numbness. Okay, let's put a human being in a numb state. The negative knows only how to eat through negativity and feed himself, the evil, and the positive, God, knows both ways. And you are like the link in the middle. And here we have angels. I'll talk about angels in a moment as well, because people don't know these things. So now what happens is some types of evil, when they see that they don't get burnt, but they go more intelligent and they tend to become more positive and things start happening for them, then they tend to learn more. But different levels of evil, of misunderstanding or lack of knowledge, when you light up the spark and you want to do that or this, and you start by lighting up the candle, you burn them. So steps are to be taken one by one, or 2 by 2, or 3 by 3, depending on each one's level of understanding, and not from 1 to 100, you get burned. Somewhere along the way you get burned straight away, and then you don't know what happened, and you had for you stays like a bad experience, and you tend to go back to zero level starting point, and you keep starting and you keep aiming towards 100 without understanding that it's all comes step by step. You don't take the first cold shower of 20 minutes or 1 hour in the water. You start by 30 seconds, 15, whatever you can handle. The water is not 4 degrees. The water will be like 20 in the beginning. And then you start lowering down 15. Then you manage to stay on 10. And then you go to 4. So you take step by step. If you do the first one and you sit up in a ice bath, you cannot stay there. It's not. I didn't see anyone doing that in the first day in the ice for half an hour. But I saw people start doing it for step by step for years, and their bodies got used to, and then now they can stay there hours, and they even like it. This is how your body works. This is how your field works, and this is the steps you should take, not all in once. Whenever you start to do all in once, you light up a candle and something comes to stop you. And you are not prepared to know how to deal with it. Your body is not prepared, your fields are not prepared. Everyone is talking about opening up chakras and doing this and doing that. But they don't know that if your chakra works, for example, 20% every day, there is a reason for it. If you start opening them up 100%, you don't know how to drive that car, that body, that mind. You don't know. You just don't know. That's why you need to learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, practice. In order that you can grow properly. You know and you feel and you understand what's going on with you. Now, what does a Reiki master usually? It's like he manages to clean the patches that you have, like minuses, too many minuses in a place, and gives you a direction and opens up a bit your chakras and gives you the direction to move forward. You're fixing problems. This is what a good Reiki master does. I have one of the best ones in the world that I know of, and they all started by helping me energetically and start sending me to start learning and practicing. It didn't happen overnight. It took time. It didn't came in straight away, even if I wish it was. Like I wanted the magic wand as well. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. Now, starting from this, I wanted to just quickly move forward into some examples of how to clean your room, your energetic field. Let's imagine for 1 second that this is your energetic field, your body, and this is full of negative and positive energy, your room. Okay, this is your room. It's full of negative and positive, depends on what you have in this room, in this space. If you have too much dust and garbage, that one needs to be removed regularly. Okay, that one needs to be removed. So clean room in order keeps in less negative energy. That's one start. Second start, your body, if you keep adding bad energies, and you know what's bad and what's good for you, so you need to have a mixture and start moving forward by reducing what's negative and adding a bit of positive. So you take step by step, not all in once. Not from tomorrow you become a vegan if you were used to eat all your life meat. You do it gradually, so your body gets used to, your field gets used to, and changes polarity. Okay, Now you have a room, for example, and your room is a mess. You start by cleaning it in your way, whatever you want. Just start cleaning it, hoover it, dust, and whatever you can clean, start cleaning the room. Okay, throw away the garbage, come back in the room. You can use simple methods to clean the room, but remember, if you have too much negativity in your room and in your thoughts, or you have bad figurines in your room that represents negativity, okay, and you attract that energy in your room, if you start using these methods, you might burn that negative presence that is there. And guess what happens? It attacks back. Why? Because it's burning. Okay, this is what happens. So if you have bad figurines, remove them. Just put them outside. Throw them in the bin. Get rid of them. Okay, by doing so, you add a plus, an easy plus. That energy doesn't want to be removed, so it will. You take step by step. You clean energetically. If you don't want to stay in the negative state, you start by cleaning. You clean the room. You took out everything that doesn't look very saint and very positive. Okay. Then you can start by using simple methods. This is salt. Okay. This is normal raw salt. Nothing special. You take 4 containers of this and you place them in the corners of the room. Make sure you can use a container that is replaceable. Okay, you just place them in the corners. You don't have to do anything else, because these crystals have the capacity to absorb negative energy, even if it's on the microscopic level, or if it's on the human scale level, or if it's just entering your field. Okay, by doing so, you already start attracting those negative energies towards your corners. Nobody sits in a corner, and time ago they used to put people to punish them to sit in the corner. Why do you think was that? Because that was a punishment. It was a more concentrated place of negative energy, so they could feel the shame and everything they were placing on them. That's why they used to put them in the corner. They didn't knew these things, but that's what happened. Okay, so corners tend to keep more negative energy in them, and it's a way of access for the negative energies to get into your space. So now you've placed salt in your corners. Take a container, you can close it up, leave it there, and every week, every 2 weeks, you change the salt, and you throw this salt in, you flush it in the toilet, or you go outside and you put it in a river. Nothing that stays around and doesn't flush. Okay, in water it dissolves and it goes away. When you throw it, you can also add, I'm releasing all the negative energy in my house. Go back in the water and go wherever it's more needed. And that's it. Another way you can do it is by lighting up a bay leaf. Just like this. Let me try to find a lighter. Buy a container, something that doesn't burn, and you just start to lighting up. That should do. Apart from the light, these plants, like this one or others I will talk about, Palo Santo as well, what do they contain? They are also made from yin and yang photons, no? Cells. They contain an oil, they contain an angel, and a demon as well. But the angel inside this is like in a form of oil, the positive energy or the angelic energy. And when it burns, it tends to clean and transform the negative energy in a room. Okay? It's a bailiff, nothing. This oil in the smoke cleans the room energetically. So here I'm talking about outside energies, but also if you inhale this smoke, not all at once, okay, just in the room, by having a presence of this smoke in the room, cleanse your aura, cleanse your field. And by taking in this kind of smoke for error, I've tried it for error, okay, I'm not doing it daily, just happen to try these methods, and I already straight away start feeling more at ease, more clean from a different perspective. But now I'm a Reiki master, so now these things I'm using them sometimes when I go in some spaces and I need to clean those spaces energetically before using certain symbols. I tend to clean the room. So this is like for normal people that don't know nothing about Reiki, about energies, about getting closer to God, and so on. Then you can use also Palo Santo. I'm lighting it up. You don't have to burn your house, so always make sure, be safe, safety first. Okay, and just cleanse. This smoke has inside the oils inside this stick. That oil has the capacity through the smoke to cleanse fields. Okay, it adds pluses to your minuses in the room. In very bad cases, you can find the evil starts doing something because it doesn't like this. Just doesn't like when you light up a candle, when you start adding pluses. Okay, but by doing this, you already weaken because you've added pluses into your room. By start cleaning your room energetically and cleaning your room physically, even if you have a dark field around you and you are inside you have too much of negative thoughts, dark energies, by doing this you already cleanse what surrounds you. And then you need to start working on what's inside you. Here I also have some pure monastic incense. It looks like this. You can order it online. Apart from being prayed upon, this one has oils from different plants, also Palo Santo, and it's like even more powerful. Okay, this I ordered it on a monastery in Greece, in Athos Mountain. Not very expensive. You can go on online. Incense from monasteries, they are prepared as best as possible to help you change these negative energies. Okay, someone call them demons, someone evil, someone snakes, someone whatever, it doesn't matter. So you already created a better field where you can start learning and changing your field. And this one, without knowing it, this type of smoke or this salt keeps away from you these energies. That's why they used to repeat this, and they still do. In monasteries, they do it daily. But at home, people, they used to use salt, use bay leaves, some of them incense, some of them Palo Santo, some of them used to light candles. This candle, even if you don't see it, it produces heat and repels the negative, okay? By doing so, even if you have a candle in your room, always on, it creates that sort of energy that keeps away the negative that is trying to come in. If you light it up and you place an intention on it, I'm lighting this candle up for my angels, for my positives, gives them more power through this intention. It's very useful to light up a candle from time to time, or if it's very bad, the field, to keep it more time light it up. Use techniques to clean your field. Learn Reiki, use symbols. You can learn the symbol of the cross. It was not used only in the Christianity. Since ever, this symbol of the cross was used in every culture. Why? Because it has the power to cut, to bond, to align God with man. It has all sorts of useful properties. And that's why the cross was one of the first symbols used in ancient knowledge. Then there's others. You can use chokurei. I said it in another video. I've explained how to use it in your corner rooms. Chokurei seheiki. If those energies just don't want to go away, I've explained to take a bath salt, 3 kilos of salt, for example, in water, in a bath. Sit there, plunge yourself in properly, wash your head as well, then rinse yourself properly with soap and water, and then get out. And already your energy field will become and will have more pluses. You will feel different. If you want to add more at the end of the shower, add some cold water on yourself and see the difference. It's a repellent. Okay, so now you have your field cleaned, your room cleaned. You do some crosses in the corners of your room, on the walls if you want as well. You can use chokurei seiheki as well. And if still that energy doesn't feel changed, you're dealing with an even worse factor of negative energy. And in different religions, different cultures, they call them demons. Why? Because it's an aggregation of too many minuses that someone allowed in that space, might be you or might be just the space. That place happened to be a place where in the past happened too much negativity and attracted that sort of energy. And they call them demons. Same with angels. When you have too many pluses together, it creates an angel, an angelic presence. Okay, that's why they consider that angels are pure. They don't have minuses. Not always that's the case. Even angels happen to have that faults, and sometimes they come here to learn what they didn't learn properly, to grow and to go back. Okay, not everything that it's in, like outside from the human form, it's an angel or a demon, or a pluses or minuses. Okay, there's even the neutral state, and I will talk about it in the future. What's the neutral state and how we perceive it and how we don't understand a lot of things. So for now, that should do. I will add more in the next videos.